This video is going to focus on the warm floors. So the warm floors sit beneath some insulation underneath the cold floors on each arena. The purpose of the warm floors is to prevent frost from permeating down beneath the cold floors and messing up your slab. Your heat floors are going, your brine is coming back this way. So after the, so as the brine circulates, it's coming back here. It's going through this heat exchanger HX6, which is a shell and tube style of heat exchanger, and it's exchanging its heat with the warm glycol. So the warm glycol is coming this way. It's giving its heat to the brine, and as the brine picks up its heat, it is fed out through here, and it's fed to each of the arena warm floors. It goes out there, it gives up its heat to the space around it, essentially, and it comes back and completes that that loop, coming back cooler than what it went out at. So it's taking some of the heat off the glycol, and so that glycol, you'll remember, is warm because it got its heat as it was condensing the ammonia. So the other thing that the glycol is doing is it's circulating through the snowmelt pit. So this pump here, P401, circulates the warm glycol out to the snowmelt pit, and it returns back here when it's coming back from the snowmelt pit. This is capped off because that's been designed in case we ever have another use for the warm brine, for the warm glycol. The glycol is feeding from here. It's going along, and as it gives up some of its heat to the snowmelt pit and the warm floors, it then goes outside and up through the fluid cooler. So what the fluid cooler is it's basically, it looks like a giant air conditioner, and then it's got a whole bunch of small tubes running through it and fins on it, and it moves air through it, and occasionally will spray a water mist onto it in order to cool down the glycol, and it ramps its fans up and down accordingly to give the glycol temperature that Ultimate spec'd it to. So this is the glycol pump. That's the pressure. It's flowing this way, pushing the glycol this way, and then it's running up and over, and it's coming along here, and then this glycol is coming down through this strainer around here. You can see the temperature that it's going in to the inlet of the ammonia heat exchanger. It's picking up the heat from the ammonia as it condenses the ammonia, and then it's coming out here warmer than it was. This warm glycol is then flowing over there to where we just were, and it's giving up its heat to the snowmelt pit, the heat floor, or the warm floors for the arenas, and then it's flowing outside. The other thing that this glycol is doing is it's being used for the cooling jackets. So you'll see that little pipe up there where it's branching off and coming down here to the cooling jacket. And so this P103, there's P301 is the little red pump here that circulates the glycol over compressor 1, and P302 over there circulates the glycol through compressor 2 heads. And so what these do is these cool the compressor heads. So if you think of that like the radiator in your car being used to cool your engine, this glycol loop on the compressors cools the compressors. Down here, this just kind of below your pump, this is your pressure that your glycol pump for your compressor cooling is running at. Over on compressor 1, you'll see the same thing where you've got your circulation pump and then you've got your pressure that it's running at. That should pretty much cover everything for the glycol portion of the refrigeration cycle. And I hope that makes things a little clearer.